All right, I'll start out with a couple updates on the guys. First of all with Rink, I think you guys know how much he wanted to play in that Michigan game. He gave himself every opportunity to be out there. He got out and stretched, got a couple shots up, and he had nothing in the tank. And I think I mentioned this after the game. He couldn't even keep water down, and the decision was made to not put him in that position. Got home that night, and the following day, so Wednesday, Rink had to go to the ER with severe dehydration. Was still battling it. Ended up getting home at about 2:30 in the morning after a couple bags of IV fluids. Felt better this morning and was able to come in, watch film with us, and then we took him through the very early non-contact portion of our practice. So we went through stations and got up and down a little bit in some non-contact drills, did our shooting drills, and then we got him off the floor. So if he responds well the rest of the day and has a good day tomorrow, we anticipate him being out there on Sunday, not knowing exactly what he's going to be able to give us. Obviously, he's lost a ton of weight. He's still very weak, but it was good to see him. It was good to see him back in the gym today. Oogie is out with the flu, not the same, whatever strain, I don't know what it is, but we're deciding to keep him home. Obviously, he's not playing right now, but we're doing everything we can to stop the spread of it. We're all battling some form of it, but Rink just, whatever he caught was nasty. As far as Braden, he was back on the floor today for a portion of the contact drills. He went through stations yesterday and did a little bit of work on the floor today. We got him out about halfway through, but it was good to get him some live reps. We'll see how he responds to it. When we initially saw the sprain, we thought it was going to be 2 to 4 weeks. We're 8 days out right now, so we'll see how he responds to the work that he did today, and then make a decision on Sunday based on how he does tomorrow. So those are the updates on our two guys.
I guess with that, how does that impact the way that you plan for Illinois? Because those were two guys that you had in the first meeting. I guess do you plan to prepare as if they're going to be available, or do you have kind of contingency plans?
Yeah, we'll prepare both ways, Robin, and obviously we had prepared going into the Michigan game. We got a message from Andrew, our trainer, when I woke up that next morning when we were getting ready to go into film, and he let us know what Rink had been going through all night, not sleeping and not having a good night. So we anticipated and prepared, obviously, that he was going to play that game until the morning of. Still thought he might be available, but listen, Rink's a warrior. The fact that he even was out there based on having 2 days later being in the emergency room, shows you the type of character and the type of player that he is to even give it a go. So, we had to adjust, obviously, and I thought our guys really went out and competed at a high level. I did think we made a lot of mistakes, and we watched those in the film room yesterday on how we can better finish off games like that. Part of it was obviously the third straight game with 2 days prep, second in a row on the road. I do think that was a big reason that we ran out of gas. And Michigan's length and their physicality and their pressure wore us down as well. That was a factor. But, to be out there without two of your top guys, I give our guys a lot of credit for competing the way we did, but there were still mistakes that we need to improve on if we want to stay at the top of this league, especially with the schedule that we've got coming up. These last 10 are going to be a monster, starting with this game on Sunday against Illinois. But, right now, yes. I hope we get our guys back. I hope they respond well to the work that they did today, and it would be great to have both those guys back out there on Sunday afternoon.
What can you say from that first Illinois game to play Sunday?
Yeah, it was a high-level game. Both teams had really good offensive performances. Illinois has gotten even better. They're 130 points per possession. It's incredible what they're doing from an offensive standpoint. Tyler Underwood has done a great job of putting those guys in a position of success. And, they just isolate different guys, and they go at you, and they keep running it until you stop it, which most people have not found a way to do. And, we've got the shooting now with Boswell out of the lineup and starting Davis. I thought all their guys, top to bottom, in that game against Washington last night, the biggest thing to me was a 24-4 advantage on second chance points. They got 19 second chance points on us in the first go-around, and that's the battle. You try to force them to take as many contested shots as you can and try to do everything you can to finish off possessions. But they had a 44% offensive rebound rate the first time we played, and somehow we found a way to win. You're not going to win against Illinois very often if you give them almost half of their possessions back after a miss.
What has Wadler done to sort of ascend in these last couple of weeks?
Well, he had 47 in Mackey. That's incredible what he was able to do. Inefficient. That was the impressive thing, is how efficient he was. 9 for 11 from 3, 10 assists. I mean, he just makes the right play. He takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't force things, but he is so talented. You get up on him, he finds a way to go around you. He's got great pace on his moves. He's never sped up, but he's playing on a whole different planet right now. And again, when you help off, they've got shooting and lasers all around him, and they're knocking down shots at a high level. So this team, I think they've won 9 straight since the last time we played, or 10 after last night. So, it's going to be we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to come out and get off to a good start. I know it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere in PBA. We're excited to get back in our building. It seems like we haven't been here in a while, and we have to continue to protect it. We get 6 of our last 10 at home, and we have to take advantage of that.
With this is the first time you've had to or get the chance to see how your team responds after a loss. They handled winning so well over the first 20. How has the response been after that?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes in this business, after wins, you're harder on your team than you are after losses. But we had a very vocal film session, whatever it was, 2 days or yesterday when we got back in. And, there was, again, the mistakes that were made were the reason that we lost that game. I mean, Michigan gets a lot of credit for the way they play and how they wore us down, but we made a lot of mistakes in that game that we need to get better and improve on if we want to stay where we are. And it's listen, the guys have prepared the same way. There's been no change in their approach, and we've really tried to keep it that way. Stay consistent, keep your emotions, don't ride the emotional roller coaster that you can. There was more positive publicity for our team after we lost than after any win we've had all year, which is crazy to me. We lost a game. We're going to learn from it. We're going to get better. We're going to grow. But, now we're going to see what we're made of. We're playing the team, Michigan State, Illinois are the 3 most physical teams in our league, and it's going to be a war on Sunday. And how we respond, how we go out and hit. If they hit us first, it's over. We're not going to out-jump them. We're not going to out-length them. We have to hit. We have to be the more physical team if we want a chance to win, and that's hard to do against Illinois.
When you're having a season like you've had this year, does that make it easier, to pitch yourself to recruits and kind of a bigger picture thing because of that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it does help when you got some national publicity. You get top 5 matchup on Peacock, and it's great to go out and play in that type of game. And now you get another top 10 matchup here at home in our building, and we've got a really good group of people coming in to watch this one that we're excited about. Again, PBA, from the sound of it, every ticket is sold for the rest of the season. That's unbelievable. That's awesome. We appreciate it. We think that this team has been easy to cheer for. Even the plays, the 50-50 plays, Cale getting on the floor, ripping a ball away from a 6'11", Sam doing the same thing on multiple occasions. I did think we won the 50-50 battle, and that's why this team has been easy to cheer for. Win or lose, if you play harder, if you're more connected, that, I think, ignites a fan base. And that's why I think we're sold out. Yeah, we've won some games, but we play the right way. And that's been the impressive thing to me about this group. I thought Sam, I talked about this after the game, made a hell of a play at the end of it, which would have given us a 2-for-1. Would we win it? I don't know. You can't go back and rewrite it. But, I thought Sam made the necessary tough play, to put us in a good position. We didn't get the call. That happens. And you move on and you move past it. And, again, it shouldn't have come down to that. We make our easy ones and our layups, then it doesn't come down to that last minute.
Sam, the call on Sam, did you decide to send anything into the league?
I talked to Terry, yeah, and listen, Terry's great. Terry called a charge on our guy back in 2013, I believe it was, when Will Clyburn drove it in and Aaron Kraft was standing in the charge circle. It cost us a Sweet 16 berth. So I told Terry, listen, you as much as anybody knows, you can miss a call like that. And he said, I knew you were going to say that. But anyway, that's it. Again, it happens. It's a physical game. The block charge rule was changed a couple years ago, so it's tough. The thing that we needed to do better job of was hitting early, to neutralize Michigan's length. We did get into their legs on a couple of those fouls, but yeah, I mean, I talked to Terry, and again, I've got a really good relationship with Terry. I've joked with him about that every time I see him. But yeah, it was. I thought it was a great play by Sam, but it didn't go our way.
I know you spoke about Leo after the game, but how much does it help a young guy sometimes when he just gets thrown into a tough spot and to now have that in his pocket?
Yeah, it's a confidence builder for sure for Leo. And, I know I've talked about this a lot in the past, whether it was Jamarcus or Sam taking advantage when Bandamel and Juwan went down, or in Leo's case, when you're down a couple guys, you just don't know what's going to happen. It's foul trouble. It's an ankle with Braden. It's the flu with Rink that you're going to get thrown in there, and you better be ready. And it's kind of how I lived my whole career. I got opportunity when other guys got hurt or when other guys were out. And Leo took advantage of it and showed what he can do and played very well in a hostile environment, made a couple big baskets for us, and I thought he really battled. And, with those guys pressuring him out almost all the way out to half court, he did a good job of handling the ball, taking care of it, and not turning the ball over. So I was really pleased and really impressed with Leo. And, the next time we put him in there, it helps to know for him and give him the confidence that he knows he can do it.
What do you expect the PBA to just be like on Sunday? I mean, I've heard a lot of people think this might be the biggest home game. I mean, it's arguable, but what do you expect the place to be?
I think it's the biggest home game since the Washington game last week, and it's how it is. That the next one's the biggest one, and we're gonna need it. We're gonna have to protect home court if we want to stay where we are. If not, we got no chance. So for us, when I look at it with the plus-minus game, we're still, I think, at the top of the league with +5. And we can't go down to +4. We have to take care of home court.
Boswell out and Davis and that starting lineup change the complexion and what they do.
Yeah, I mean, Boswell to me is such a versatile, important physical player for their team, but they haven't skipped a beat. And again, that's what it's about. And you throw Davis out there, his element of shooting with what they're doing with Wagler and the usage that they're putting on him, and then they'll give it to Stojakovic and they'll let him go one-on-one, and then they'll give it to Mrkovic and let him go one-on-one, and then the Ivisic twins are out there knocking down threes, and now you got Davis and Humerkhaus out there. I thought Humerkhaus was the difference in that game last night. His offensive rebounding, makes 4 out of 6 threes. I thought he was unbelievable. And, yeah, I mean, they've just done a great job. Brad has adjusted very well, as he always does. He's one of the best in the business of, when a piece is out, putting the right guys in there. And, again, to talk about taking advantage of opportunities. Jason's calling. Okay, you good? Do you need to take it? No, okay.
Okay, Illinois, you turned them over 8 times last time you played them. They don't turn it over at all very much. What's the key to maybe turning them over?
Yeah, just having activity with our hands and being there to help. It's hard to guard those guys in one-on-one situations. We're going to have to be there. And again, that's the way our defense is built. And we have to have, we talk a lot about deflecting shots. We have to deflect their passing as well and have really good hands to force looping passes to buy our rotations time. But yes, I mean, we did a great job. I think we turned Michigan over 19 times in our game. Now, we weren't very efficient off of that. We had 13 live ball steals that really didn't result very much on the other end. So we've got to be more efficient. When we do create those opportunities, we have to be better in converting.
Coach.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's what depth comes with. You know, just next man up mentality, and I think that's what we're doing right now.
Is this one of those times where maybe the adversity, fighting through adversity, things that coaches, the team has talked about?
Yeah, no doubt for sure. You know, we never been in this situation all year, and I think last game taught us a lot of things, and we can go from there.
What were the takeaways from reviewing that Michigan game?
I think just obviously with having Rink, you know, he's initiating the offense way more. Just trying to find different ways to get the ball in the paint, and just running different actions from there.
How much have you kind of fought back to the shot back in Champaign, the first matchup going in? You guys are playing Illinois then.
Say that again?
How much have you thought back to the shot, the game-winning shot in Illinois, that you're playing?
Thing about the shot, it's kind of like out my head now. Kind of just really like rewatching the whole game, seeing what I can, you know, pick up from there. So I watched the game like twice already. Yeah.
Obviously, Kylan Boswell was a big part of what they did. He's out now. How does that change Illinois' backcourt as far as how you're prepared?
Well, that's one 15-point scorer off the team. We think he's their best like individual on-ball defender, and I think he started out on Price. So I mean, the team's good defensively too as well, but having Boswell out was kind of like a little relief for us on the offensive end.
That being said, Wagler's been going off over the last 10 games or so.
Yeah.
I guess what kind of have you seen from him now compared to where you guys saw him in the first meeting?
It's really he's been the same player. I think now he's just picking up the slack, you know, way more. Even with Boswell playing, he's just been hooping. It's great to see. You know, hopefully he don't do that Sunday. So.
Coach Hoiberg mentioned their second chance points and how good they are at that. And even in the game you won, I think they had 19 of them. How much of a focus has that been to try to limit that?
It's a big focus. I mean, obviously going into the Michigan game as well too is just rebounding. And honestly, if we took away some of Michigan's rebounds, I feel like we could have had a better chance at that. And we watched the game last night versus Washington. I think it was like 24-4. They won by like 10. So that's the game right there. We got to come out off rip, just hitting and being physical.
How do you handle a team that's as big as they are, even on the perimeter, and they're just coming at you with size from every position?
Yeah, it's all about your mentality. Like you just got to go out and just, you know, even though you're bigger than me, but I'm gonna be physical with you. So it's really just mentality, effort.
6 of the last 10 at home. Just how important is it for you guys to be able to not only give the fans, you know, a win at home, but protect your home court?
It's amazing. Sold out crowd as always. Like I said, been saying it all year. We've been feeding off the environment, energy, and we're going to need it big time for Sunday. So. Good. Appreciate it, guys.
Never get lost.
Shirt this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where's it at?
I was
Conference championships. Wow. I think.
Once everyone's ready, we can fire for questions for Cal.
How are you feeling right now? Seems like a lot of stuff going around. This team holding up, building this way.
Yeah. I mean, we just had to be smart about it, right? Like everybody throughout the city, throughout the country at this point, everybody's feeling sick and is going through stuff. So we just make sure we stay within our locker room and spend a lot of time together rather than allowing people outside of our locker room to get stuff inside. So, yeah, I'm good. I think a lot of us are feeling good. A couple days off were nice, just to kind of refocus and get ready for this big game on Sunday.
How do you handle preparation? Just handle everything that comes with possibly being without Rink and Braden again?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. At Michigan, we didn't really know, right? Rink was a kind of a last-second thing, and Braden, we weren't sure until the day before. And so the same thing, like we're preparing to play with those guys, but we also know that we have lineups in practice where they're not in. So it's good to see them progress and keep working through things, but we know that both are a possibility. So.
Film session you guys had after Michigan, the coach said that he got after you guys a little bit about the mistakes. What were some of the mistakes that stood out to you that need to be addressed going into Illinois?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we talked about was just physicality, and a lot of that is pointed towards Illinois, right? When we do those film sessions, it's not to attack people personally or to get on one specific thing, but we know that Illinois is going to be one of the most physical offensive rebounding teams we're going to play, and so we just got showed a lot of those clips, and they want us to be better. And we know that that's a big part of this game on Sunday. If they're going to dominate the glass like they do a lot of times and like they did in Champaign with their second chance points, like it's going to be an uphill battle for us. And so we just need to be more and more physical every chance that we get.
How is this team's overall response to a loss different from last year's group?
Yeah, every year is different. Obviously, this was kind of the first time we'd experienced it with this group, and so we've talked about a lot in this business. You have to respond from emotional wins, but you also have to respond to losses. And so the true test comes Sunday. But this group, I mean, everybody's back in the gym the next couple days. Nobody wanted that off day, out of the hunger. Like we felt like we had a game that we kind of let slip, and so we wanted that back. Everybody's watched it a million times, but now we have to drop it, right? We have to move past it and look to Illinois on Sunday.
Reviewing the first game you played against Illinois, just what stood out? What are your main takeaways to play Sunday?
Yeah, they went on that big run to end the first half, and a lot of it was offensive rebounds. And so when their offense is at its best, is they get offensive rebounds and then they score. They're one of the best, or maybe the best right now, offense in the country. And so they're going to be tough to slow down. But for us, it's super important to make the first shot tough and then get the rebound and run. So.
You've always been confident, but how much did the Michigan game maybe give you more confidence in your individual play?
I was just upset, honestly. Like, that was just a game that we all wanted to win, and shorthanded, like, we knew it was going to be tough, and we had to be tough. We had to be the tougher team, and we just didn't do it for long enough. And so, I didn't really think about my personal performance. Like, I was just disappointed in how the result ended, and we wanted to win that game.
Same line of questioning. How did you just see Leo's confidence change after what he did?
Yeah, he gave us some great minutes. It was super cool to just see him kind of get his opportunity against an unbelievable front line that Michigan had, right? Like, he was playing some of the best bigs in our conference, and so the way that he stepped up and held his own in there was awesome to see. We get to see that every day, and he's been awesome for us to go against. But now, everybody got to see what he can do. He's an unbelievably talented young kid, and he has a bright future ahead of him.
What's the balance between, like at least on a national level, it seems like people are higher on you after your first loss than they were after your first 20 wins, but internally it seems like you guys are frustrated that you left a game you thought you should have won out there. How do you balance being proud of the effort that you did at Michigan while also kind of knowing that you left a lot on the table that probably should have won that game?
Yeah, $1 million question. I don't know. I think it was tough, right? Like you said, the way we thought about it is that was a game we had chances to win and we let it go. And so, we played hard. We fought. Everybody was pretty exhausted. But we talked about it in film. We had so many chances to go get that game. And so, we don't try not to listen to the outside and what's going on around college basketball, what people are saying, because when you're good, people make you better than you are, and when you're struggling, they don't always see what's going on. So we try to block that out and really just to watch the film and watch what's true about our group.
Did you surprise yourself winning the Open tip?
That was pretty crazy. I was pretty much undefeated in high school, so I felt good going up there, but
Pivot thing in your bag, though.
Sometimes Wilson things just kind of happen, It's like get back to that left hand, and that's what it just kind of came out. So
Dane doing it against Dordt on Saturday, and just I guess going back to prepping in your Ashland days, just how are your games just so similar, or maybe on the different levels?
yeah, no, I mean obviously we spent a lot of time in the gym growing up, and my dad and my older brother, like if we jumped off 1 foot to shoot a layup, we usually heard about it. And we just talked about, same with Coach Hoiberg, like 2 feet in the paint, come to a stop and then make a play from there. So that clip was pretty cool. It was literally the same thing. But yeah, we spent a lot of time working and playing each other. We've pulled that out a couple times. So.
Talk a lot. I mean, just bounce basketball ideas off each other.
I'd say it's more just checking in. How are you doing? How are things going? It's good. Like we get to go to a lot of games, just being 25, 30 minutes apart, and their schedule aligns pretty well. But I would say less like, what are you doing and how, and more just like literally how are you doing and what's life like, and trying to be a brother rather than a coach because he has a lot of coaches in his ear. So yeah, we have a really good relationship, and it's honestly grown in these last couple of years now that we're experiencing a lot of the same things at the college level. So.
When you see Rink fighting up until game time to try to play, you see Braden try to get back sooner than expected, what does that say about the toughness of your teammates and how much they're really selfless and wanting to play for each other?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the highlight of our group, is just a group that loves to play for each other and loves to compete together. There's a lot of great dudes in that locker room, and I honestly thought Rink was going to go just because I didn't think I just figured he wanted to be out there so bad. And so I knew when they came in the locker room and it was like, Rink's not going, like I knew he was really feeling it and really struggling. So he's an awesome person, an awesome leader for us to look at. And he was probably the most heartbroken than anybody about that loss, just the way that he looked in the locker room. But he just knew there was no way for him to go. He was hurting pretty bad. So.
Anything else, Kel?
Thanks, guys.